Okay, gradients and straight line graphs. What is a gradient? In the States, you would probably call it slope. Let me just write that on there. Slope. British word is gradient. The slope of a straight line is the rise of the line divided by the run of the line. The rise is the vertical distance, run is the horizontal distance. Let me just show you in some of these examples. If I were to ask you, what is the slope or the gradient of this line? You would say, okay, what is its, we're starting at this point. What is the rise and the run on this line from one point to the next? The rise here is 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's write that here, 4. Over the run, 1, 2. 4 over 2. And you would simplify that. Say that's 2. What's the slope of this line? We start at this one. We're going to go to that one by saying how far is the rise? How far does it go up? The vertical distance is plus 2. It goes up 2, the rise, and it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Rise over run, 2 over 4, or 1 over 2. Right? So the slope, the gradient of this line is 1 over 2. The slope of this line was 2. Right? What is the slope of this line? We start here. We go towards this point. My vertical distance is now, it's going down. So my vertical rise is a negative rise. It's not rising, it's going down. How many squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 5. And then it's going over, the run towards the right is 1. So negative 5 over 1 is negative 5. So you notice that rise is positive when it goes up, and negative when it goes down. The run is positive when it goes towards the right, here, towards the right, and here, towards the right, it's positive. Okay. This one, what is the slope? Let's, just to be interesting, let's start at this point and go towards that one. So we have a positive rise, right, of 1, 2 plus 2 over a run that goes towards the left. It goes in the negative direction, 1, 2, 3. So negative 3. So you could say the slope is negative 2 over 3. If we'd gone from this point to that point, I'll show you that would have given us exactly the same slope. Watch. We're going down 2, which is a negative rise, so negative 2. And now the run is positive. We go towards the right, 3. So negative 3 over 2 is what we get here. What we had here was a positive 2 over a negative 3. Comes out to be the same thing, right? The slope here is negative 2/3. So you see negative slopes go whoop, that way. They go down. If you look from the left, watch a car coming from the left, it goes down, right? If a car is coming from the left and running on this line, the car would go up, a positive slope, right? Okay. Now, we also learned how to find the slope of a line when given 2 of its coordinates. These 2 coordinates are on some straight line, and they ask us, what is the slope of this line? Slope often Often we use the letter M for slope. The rise over the run. The rise is the vertical distance, so actually the difference between the y values of these coordinates. This is actually the formula. So the one y value minus the other y value divided by the run, which is the difference in x values, x2 minus x1. Okay, I'll show you. Let's say this is our first coordinate, so this 3 would be x1, the 6 would be y1. This is our second coordinate, so this is x2, and this is y2. If we plug in these numbers into this formula, it will give us m, the slope. Watch. M is y2 is 8 minus y1 is 6 divided by x2, 4 minus x1, 3. 8 minus 6 is 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. So 2 over 1 is 2. So the slope here equals 2, a positive 2. Okay? Sometimes you'll be asked to plot a graph. Say they give you the equation of a straight line and say, plot the graph here. What you do is you find some coordinates, and really you only need 2 coordinates to draw a straight line, right? Connect 2 dots and you've got a straight line. Let's plug in some numbers here. 0 for x. When x is 0, y equals 1/2 of 0 plus 2. 1/2 of 0 is nothing. Nothing plus 2 is 2. So y would then equal 2. What if we plug in 1? Y would equal 1/2 times x is 1 plus 2. In that case, y would equal 1/2 plus 2 equals 2.5. So 2.5. Just found my second coordinate. Let's find another one just to make this look nice. If x is 2, plug in 2 for x. 1/2 of 2 plus 2. Y would then equal 1/2 times 2 is 1 plus 2, right? Equals 3. Y would equal 3 if x was 2. So see, we just plugged in numbers for x to find the corresponding y value. So now we have 3 coordinates. We have 0, 2. We have 1, 2.5. And we have 2, 3. And we can plot these on this graph. We can say 0, 2, x equals 0, y equals 2. That's this point. 1, 2.5, x is 1, y is 2.5, right there. 2, 3, x is 2, y is 3, right there. We connect the dots by using our ruler. Let's make it look nice. Sort of nice. Nice enough. Oh my goodness. And that's our line. Right? Oftentimes it's 0 is a really easy number to plug in. So, you know, these are 2 more equations of a straight line. Let me show you the easiest way to plot them. 2x plus y equals 4. We don't need to change the order of this equation at all. We can just say, well, we're going to plug in 0 for x once, find the corresponding y value, and then we'll plug in 0 for y, find the corresponding x value. And let's, for the second equation, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Plug in 0 for x once, and plug in 0 for y, and figure out what x is. Okay, up here, plug in 0 for x. What happens? 2 times 0 plus y equals 4. 2 times 0 is nothing, plus y equals y equals 4. Oh, that was fast. Right? Now we're going to plug in 0 for y. So rewrite the equation, but instead of y, we're going to write 0. 2x equals 4. That means x equals, divide by 2 is 2. X equals 2. Let's make this our orange line. So we're going to plot the points 0, 4, 0, 4, and 2, 0, 2, 0. See how we found the place where the line crosses the y-axis, and the place where the line crosses the x-axis. The line crosses the x-axis where y equals 0, and the line is going to cross the y-axis where x is 0. It's interesting observations. Okay, connect the dots for the line. Okay, I said I was going to make an orange line. There you go. That was that one. Just one more example. We plug in 0 for x, right? 0 minus 2y equals 6. Negative 2y equals 6. Divide both sides by negative 2, and y turns out to equal negative 3. When x is 0, y is negative 3. That's our first coordinate. This is the point where it crosses the y-axis. Let's plug in 0 for y. 0 for y. So we write this x minus 2, but we plug in 0 for y equals 6. So x minus 2 minus nothing equals 6. So x equals 6. We plot these 2 points. We'll make it a green line. 0, negative 3, 0, negative 3. That's our first point. 6, 0. Oops, 6 would be over here. X is 6, y is 0. So right there. Connect the dots. And voila. That's our line. So these are some examples of how to plot a straight line on a graph.